Okay. Well, g'day folks, Tony Fount from the Drovers Journal. I'm here again with you with James Playfair from the Tofts Shorthorn Stud. We're talking today about where the breed goes, like the reinvigoration of the Shorthorn breed in the last 10 or 15 years in the United Kingdom has just been absolutely outstanding. And James is a big part of that. He's been president of the society, he was on the board for a long while. Undoubtedly ruffled a few feathers on the way round. But James, what brought it all about, and where do you see the breed going?
Well, as I've said earlier, in the late 70s, all the way through the 70s, the continental cattle from Europe were flooding into the country, and we have an industry that always looks for the quick fix, looking for something to the future. They never look behind. They don't look at history and say, "Oh shit, we got that wrong." But if we'd done that, it would have been better. It would have been okay. And and I speak to a lot of people, and I say, "Well, come on, it's time you had an Angus or Shorthorn." No. We had them 30 years ago. Not going back there again.
Yep.
But these breeds have changed. And yes, we lost a lot of cattle in the late 60s through the 70s. We were left with a pretty good foundation, actually, to rebuild. The Beef Shorthorn became a rare breed, and to my mind, the Beef Shorthorn is part of the Shorthorn family. We've got dairy Shorthorns, we've got Beef Shorthorns. Okay, they're different societies, but it's the one genetic base you go back to.
Yep.
You throw in Northern Dairy Shorthorns, and you can even bring in a bit of Ménage if you want. And then you've got all your Shorthorns from around the world. And it's all about a blend of getting the things that work and make the job right. And as I say, we lost the suckler cows, the quality suckler cows, and we ended up with an industry that had a totally inefficient cow. It was probably a continental cross dairy cow. It was thin-skinned, it was high maintenance, and we were producing lean meat. We were encouraged to produce lean meat without fat and bigger carcasses, lower processing costs, in the belief, government policy, that we will have healthier people if we eat leaner meat. What happened? In reality, it was consumption of red meat went down and obesity went up. Okay, there are a number of reasons for that, but largely we're eating more junk food and we don't take the exercise we used to do. Probably the two common traits. So anyway, we lost the cows, and an industry recognised we had to rebuild the cows. Now, on the back of that, the Anguses went through a very similar thing. They got tiny wee, and they blamed the South American market and all the rest of it, and they just lost the commercial job. It was producing for that one bull that was going to sell for big bucks. The rest didn't matter. As long as they got that one for big bucks, they were fine. And Marks and Spencer's, which is probably our number one food retailer in the UK, top market, top shelf.
Buying them at Oxford.
And they came to the Angus Society and approached the Angus Society in the mid-70s and said, "We want 1,000 Angus carcasses a week, 52 weeks of the year." And the Angus guy said, "Oh dear, can't do that. We don't do that. We're pedigree people. We do shows and bull sales and things. We don't do beef." But that was the catalyst for the start of the Certified Angus Beef Scheme.
Which has been enormously successful.
And which has been a great success. It's grown from a little thing and it's been like a snowball. It's just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we now have every retailer in the UK selling Angus beef. Most of it branded Angus beef. Now, one or two of the supermarkets, and M&S was one of them, because when I was last president we were negotiating because their attitude was they need a top shelf product, but Angus was no longer exclusive because everyone had it. Everyone had it. We wanted something different. And the only one out there that could come near the numbers was the Shorthorn. Now, most of those numbers were in England because, and again, it comes back to politics and subsidies and things like that. Environmental schemes encouraged commercial farmers to have native breeds of cattle. And I guess in a way there was a lot of Shorthorns out there, with dairy Shorthorn bases, that became suckler cows,
Yeah.
became beef shorthorns, and we went from a rare breed to the fastest growing breed in the UK. And it's been a tremendous success story. Anyway, Morrison's, the retailer, supermarket chain, bought into the shorthorns, said that's the one for us. But there was only enough shorthorns for one retailer. So the others backed off. And we got to the stage where Morrison's were their traditional beef scheme, which was their top shelf product, was 50% shorthorn and 50% native, because they needed Anguses and everything else in there to make up the numbers. But I am led to believe that later this year they will be 100% shorthorns. But I guess what bugs me, or one of the things that I question, is shorthorns have come a long way in a short period of time, and we lack consistency. We have growth in there, but beef yield concerns me, and I would like to see feedback as to what genetics are working and what genetics are not. And I know Morrison's wanted, because before the shorthorn scheme, they were into big continental cross cattle. And they needed that top shelf product. So this shorthorn is just something a little bit different. But I think, like a lot of the Anguses, a lot of the shorthorns are getting too big and too hard. And they're not the fleshy cattle they need to be moving forward.
That kill sheet back from the abattoir is an absolutely critical part of it, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, they've launched in Australia now the 1,000 Guineas shorthorn branded product with JBS, which is going very well. And I think I'm right here, but the producers are also getting the kill sheets.
Well, the producers will get the kill sheets here.
Yeah,
but a lot of the producers are not the breeders, so they don't know what genetics are working and what genetics are not working.
Because it seems to me, from a breed society point of view, you really need to be able to identify the bulls that are producing the better cattle. So if one of them is the Tofts Henry 5th or something or other, but you can then go out and say the Tofts Henry's producing 93% A grade for Morrison's or whatever. And that to me is a far better publicity than saying I was grand champion at the Royal Highland Show or whatever else.
Yeah. But I think the attitude with the industry around here is the breed doesn't matter. It's the feeding system that actually dictates the quality of the product and your post-slaughter treatment. I mean, I've had this debate with the industry people for 30 odd years now. And
I can see this be a 55-minute interview coming up here, but no, look, it's great. And as I said, I've really enjoyed seeing the cattle and meeting you and Debbie, but just the talking and getting out there, make the bloody thing happen, isn't it?
Well, that's what it's about. And I mean, yes, I have been president of Shorthorn Society twice, the Beef Shorthorn Society twice. I chaired the last conference here in the UK, and I've had a lot of fun with shorthorns and I met a lot of interesting people. But I don't know, I still feel I have a lot to contribute to the shorthorns, but I think there seems to be, there's an attitude that some of them want to reinvent the wheel, and I get a little frustrated with that, because I think that people need to. You learn from history, you learn from other people's mistakes, and it's much more economical to learn from them than to do them yourself as well.
Well, it sounds like you better head up the hill yourself for a little while and sort of sit up there and contemplate, and then come back and shake the whoop out of everybody else. So, folks, keep posted, because from the conversation you've just been viewing, and the conversations I've had with James, I'm sure he's not going to sit down and do nothing. So thank you so much for that. And
right. Anytime.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, you come back anytime. Every time you're over
I'll
here,
do that. I've loved it here, and just keep the faith in the breed. So, folks, thanks very much for viewing, and stay tuned with the Drovers Journal. Remember, as long as you've got a pulse, you're having a good day. See ya.
Good.